guys, I'm Rebecca. You have a chance to win this DJI FPV drone, the case, and 2 batteries. We're gonna choose one of the next 100,000 subscribers to be our lucky winner. So please subscribe, good luck, and happy FPV.
Today we're talking about the replacement for this radio. This is one of my all-time favorite radios. It's the Lite Radio 3 by BetaFpv. It has internal built-in ELRS, or you can add a 4-in-1 module in the module bay in the back, and this has no screen on it. It has no fancy buttons on here, and it is super simple to use. And this has been my daily go-to ELRS radio for several months now. And come along, the Pro version. It's new, it's black, it has ELRS versions and a CC2500 version with Hall gimbals and a new screen and little tiny joysticks for you to play with. Also, it supports OpenTX and EdgeTX. So what's great about this one? We're going to take a look, but also today we have the Radiomaster AG01 mini gimbals to check out. These are tiny little game style controller mini gimbals that were released. You guys love the AG01s and a lot of you guys bought these and now they have a mini version. So let's go ahead and jump over to the bench and check out the Lite Radio 3 Pro, and then we'll take a look at these fancy new AG01 minis. This is the box. Like I said, it comes in 2 versions, the CC2500 version and the 2.4 ELRS version. Inside the box, you'll get the radio, the gimbal covers, and an instructional manual. And both versions of this radio, the CC2500 and the ELRS 2.4 version, are $89 currently. So that's not bad for everything included to pretty much get you up and flying if you have a FrSky receiver, if you have an ELRS receiver. If you want to add crossfire on the back of this, you can also do that with the Nano Module Bay on the back. It has different little LEDs that light up for this transmitter. When you press on it and hold, it will start up and you'll see the OpenTX or the EdgeTX version load, and I believe mine came preloaded with EdgeTX, so that's pretty sweet. It also has a built-in microphone and speaker, and right now you see it's red. This LED is red. When you have a connection to your ELRS receiver, it's going to be blue. This new version has Hall gimbals, which is nice, also known as joysticks. For those of you guys who don't know the difference between joysticks and gimbals, they're the same thing. It supports 8 channels. It has a 1.3-inch OLED screen on here, so it's not LED, it's a little bit nicer. And it has these 2 push-button joysticks, which is nice for navigation inside EdgeTX or OpenTX. Also, it's nice that it does have an internal 2000 milliamp battery. It supports USB charging, and the USB charger is on the very bottom. We have the DFU button and the bootloader button there as well. We also have a port for playing around on any virtual PC simulator. So if you want to fly FPV on a simulator with this, you can hook it up, and on a PC it'll automatically install the drivers. Now currently this radio supports 250 milliwatt, which is kind of comparable to the other game style transmitters out there. They do say that this one can go up to 500 milliwatt, but they say not to do that because you could risk burning up the radio. Don't do that. Your internal module could suffer if you turn it up to 500. So there will probably be a firmware update coming out soon to be able to update this so that you don't do that on accident. And on the back of the radio, we have the Nano Module Bay for adding any type of BetaFpv ELRS modules, 4-in-1 modules, or even Crossfire Nano modules. Whatever you like to plug in there, you can select external CRSF and it will activate this module bay. And also what's different about this one is they do have a little toggle switch on the back of the screen. If you look on the back left-hand side here, you'll see a 3-position switch right here. Come up a little bit closer and you'll see that. That is for fine-tuning the gimbals on the controller. That's kind of a new feature they've added as well. And the Pro version has the same switches on the top as well, 2 3-position switches and 2 lock position switches as well. Not the momentary switches that the other radios have. This one has 2 lock position switches. I like that for arming the quad. This is usually my arm switch, mode switch, beeper, and RTL if I have GPS on this type of setup. And I guess one thing that I was hoping for was that when I bought the Pro version, I would get a little more grip on the radio itself, maybe a little more rubber feel on the outside, maybe back here on this section, maybe a removable piece or some add-ons later, but it feels exactly the same as the Lite Radio 3. It has almost the same exact material, but now it's black. But my favorite thing about this one is the screen. It is an OLED screen and you can see it outside quite well during the daytime. So that's kind of nice. It's not an LED screen, it's an OLED. So it's a little brighter and you can adjust the brightness and contrast inside the menus as well. But it's nice because they also added 2 joysticks with push button selection. Over on the left hand side we have a 4-position switch here and you can push down and long press to go back out of the menus. It's pretty easy and kind of intuitive to get into the menus. So If we long press over to the right, it'll take us to our model menu. You can then go up and down. If you want to go into a model, select the model you're currently on and go over to the right, and it'll take you into the setup, just like we've seen before in other radios. If you want to go out, just go ahead and long press on the left side. It'll take you back out. Now this is cool. So if you press up on the little joystick, it'll take you into the stats. It'll show you your monitor for a spectrum monitor, analyzer. We go down, it'll take us into more specs here for battery voltage, time elapsed use on the radio, and we can go ahead and long press out. And if we go up again, it'll take us into spectrum analyzer. To the left, it'll take us into tools, and this is the typical menu that we see in OpenTX and EdgeTX. If we go over to the right, we press to the right, it'll scroll 1 through 7 there. So SD card support, radio setup, global functions, trainer, hardware, version. And so now we're on 2.6.0 EdgeTX. And that was updated on 329. So you also have firmware options down there and modules for RX versions as well. Long press to get out, you're back to the menu. Now it did say in the system menu that it has SD card on here, but it actually doesn't. It has a Wi-Fi updatable internal memory. So if you want to update the firmware on this controller, you're just going to do it over Wi-Fi. Now what's also cool about this radio, guys, is it does have pass-through for ELRS upgrade. Like I mentioned, it can be upgraded by Wi-Fi. So that's kind of cool, and you can go through the upgrading steps on BetaFpv's website if you want to update the firmware. They will have a new firmware update coming out, I swear. But nice things also about this one is it does have a Lua interface. It has Wi-Fi, Express LRS TX for the Wi-Fi name. That's going to be being able to go in and update your firmware, and it has the password set up to be all lowercase Express LRS for getting into that on BetaFpv's website. That's kind of cool. So there should be a link for that, and if there is, I'll try to find that and put it down below for you. But it also has EdgeTX pass-through as well for updating EdgeTX to ELRS, which is kind of sweet. You cannot update a CC2500 internal module bay to do ELRS. That's going to be a hardware option. So if you want ELRS internal, buy that one. They're both the same price, which is kind of cool. So I think that's nice that they've added this one to their collection, and they've been honest and forthright about this issue with the 500 milliwatt overheating or losing packets, having a signal drop. That's pretty important that they are, they're nice enough to tell the community up front. So it's kind of funny. We're on the forefront being beta testers sometime, and I find it kind of hilarious that this company's name is BetaFpv, right? So it seems like we're always beta testers in the hobby community. So moving on, guys, I'm not sure if these are compatible with the BetaFpv controllers or not, but they are compatible with the Zorro. If you're one of my guys who bought the Zorro because I said it was a great radio, then awesome. These are going to be available for you. Right now I'm looking for a street price, and it looks like they're $99 for the set. That's not too bad. The other ones I think were around $89 just for one gimbal. So a little tiny box, and they're both inside here. I'm just going to go ahead and take them out, and I'll just open one for you guys. Look on the back, and it says Hall sensors, of course. It has full CNC metal gimbal, quad bearings, tension adjustment ratchet in the front for front-facing tension adjustment, which is nice. Easy mode, self-centering adjustment, and travel adjustment as well. And they should be plug and play. Some springs in here and some extra hardware with a little 2mm driver. And this is the gimbal itself. And it's crazy because I'm looking at the AG01s in a tiny mini format. I installed the larger AG01s inside my T16S Max Edition, and they are nice. And these just look like little miniature versions of them. You can see, just like the larger version, they have 2 cables that plug into the radio. And that's pretty much it for the installation. It's pretty easy. If you can open up a radio and take out your old gimbal, you can install this one. And this is the other one that was in the pack as well, and both of these seem to be self-centering, so you would need to use the tension adjustment here to make this one your throttle stick, so that it's not going back to center. Super important when you're setting up your quad or installing these to your radio, whether you're in mode 1 or mode 2. But what's neat about these is that you notice on the side right here, these are non-contact adjustment gimbals. So this gimbal moves right here, but it's electronic, so it's tracking with electronic sensor just below that right there, and there's no delay in that sensor action, which is kind of crazy. So times past, you've seen these types of setups where they kind of rub on the gimbal itself, and you can see right here this side has that, but this side has no contact Hall sensors on here for accurate, super accurate controls and super precise stick centering. And also previously there was kind of some travel adjustment issues with some of the larger ones. People saying that they couldn't get the full travel, but the minimum is like 38 degrees on these and the max of about 54 degrees. But they do go all the way out to the edges on this faceplate. So you should get full travel for any of your quadcopter applications or even fixed wing. So if you like these, I'll put the link down below and you guys can check these out. These are compatible with the Zorro and the TX12. So if you bought a TX12, it has miniature gimbals on there. So congratulations, you can get these and install it on your TX12. Another great radio that I do enjoy because it does have a full-size module bay in the back versus the Zorro has a micro module bay. So it's up to you guys, but hopefully you enjoyed this review. Please do subscribe on the channel and good luck for the new giveaway. Hopefully you enjoyed seeing the BetaFpv Lite Radio 3 Pro. I love it. I think it's super cool, and I'm just going to chill on 250 milliwatt for now, and I really don't need 500 on something I'm going to fly my micros on. So this will be for my small quads. I'll leave the larger radios with full-on crossfire module in the back for long range. Guys, take care, and I'll see you on the next one.